44% of Republicans believe that mass shootings are just something we're gonna have to learn to deal with as long as we want to have guns. NANI? Dynamite! We're here. It's my third favorite. My third favorite part of the show. It's the things we forgot to tell you. Hey, watch your mouth. Watch your mouth, man. Hey, the record shows. The record shows. Some people don't want you to be great, man. Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Heero. This is the Identity Booth. This is the things I forgot to tell you last week. This is a segment of the show where I go over stories that by the time you see this, it'll probably be next week. So it's the things I forgot to tell you last week, you know. I thought it was a clever title. Upon reflection, I could get these videos out same day. Maybe it's time for a title change. Maybe. Don't know. But I'm eager to get into it, so let's talk about it. What do we got on the agenda? What happened? So, starting off, I was researching this story to talk about a current event that happened, which was been the shooting that took place in Nigeria in Owa State. But upon researching that, I found that literally May 27th, there was a death toll blast near a school in Kano, Nigeria, that rises to 9 amid allegations of a cover-up. So there's a lot of violence happening in Nigeria right now. And this is for context of where it is on the map. While it's this was the scene of the blast, but this is the Kano State. It's kind of mind-boggling that we can't get the city, or not even city, the government to respond accordingly, right? Just to respond accordingly to get these people safe. But this was one of the story. And this was claimed by the Muslim terrorist state, which was also the people who believed to have claimed this church shooting. They never missed mass. Woman loses both parents in Nigeria church attack that killed dozens. The death toll is up to 30 now, and it's close to 50 people still not being accounted for, including kids. This lovely lady lost both her parents, and it's this thing about, you know, I often say this, and I mean it. The world is so divided now. It's not about even being ashamed about what you're saying, but it was something that was practiced by our people in the past. And I don't know where this fucking, bombastic rage of wanting to just talk about your personal life and your personal business all the time. I don't go to these large gatherings anymore because there's too many people who think you are evil for being there. And there's too many people with enough weapons and power to do this. Now, there's always been this Christian, natural lifestyle Muslim, because a lot of those Christian values didn't come to Africa naturally. You feel me? Like, that wasn't something that naturally happened. Those were values that were brought over by the people who enslaved some people there, the people who colonized situations over there. So it goes without saying that this isn't the way we want things to be done, but, you know, our hearts go out to these people, and we just need the government to have a bigger presence to slow down these mass killings and these mass shootings. It's just crazy. All right. First story is in regards to the Uvalde mom who saved her kids from the school shooting. If you haven't heard this story, I implore you to go watch this, read this woman's story, and just to give you the TLDR, right? The TLDR of this story is a mother. T giving confirmation. I appreciate that. Clap it up for confirmations. We need it. We need those confirmations, man. Life is too short. This mother ran into the school to go get her kids during the Uvalde shooting after being detained by a marshal and then convincing a local officer to let her loose. Climbs the fence, gets in there, saves her kids, and gets out. And the whole time she was in there, she's claiming and has testified she saw no officers. And this was during the 91 minutes where officers basically stayed still and didn't do nothing to help save any of those kids. Based on her timeline and her recollection of things, she says that this was, and they were doing sound initials, this was at least 19 shots, or not 19 shots, so it had to be 15 or so shots prior to the last shot being fired. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy, right? This is her and her 2 kids. And you just, man, a mother's love, right? Not saying a father would have done that. In fact, it was a father that went into the school that ended the shooter wearing fucking sandals after getting a haircut. But a mother's love, right? It's crazy. It's crazy to think about that's what it takes. But man, Uvalde. Then we're finding out that the police don't want to cooperate, and now the school police don't want to cooperate. They're just hiding so much. It's crazy to hear, because police would tell you should just comply. You should just comply. Do as you're told when an officer comes up to you. But here they are, not doing what they told. A woman arrested for allegedly throwing her boyfriend's mother's ashes into the lake. The fuck? You gotta die, right? You have to throw her into the river, right? With her. This is this madness right here, right? This is how people get shot in the real world. You feel me? Because if you did that to me, it's fuck your life. It's over with. Like, I'm taking the charge, whatever the charge is, because there ain't no way I'm dying and then going to heaven and having to face my mother and explain this to her. Like, so baby, explain to me again why my ashes got thrown into the lake. And there's no grandstanding here. There's like none whatsoever. You threw, like, that's sacred. Tampering with like a loved one, that's sacred. And it's the worst part about it is it actually happened a while ago, but it blew up because the video actually surfaced on Twitter. So that means the police didn't even acknowledge this until it showed up on Twitter. Let's get some more deep. Police charged Fort Worth, Texas woman on May 4th with abuse of a corpse after she threw the ashes of her boyfriend's mother into the Lake Worth. Local station KXAS reports Fort Worth Police Department said Ernest Smith, 38-year-old, told officers that his girlfriend, Augustine Glandy, 40, confessed to him in a text message that she dumped the mom's ashes. It appears that the incident resurfaced on TikTok video. However, there was no confirmation from the authorities that the video is authentic. Social media users have said the woman in the video is not Glandy, but rather a comedian. Man, is rather a comedian explaining the viral video from a skit. Okay, so the video's not real, but it still happened. It's based on a parody. The Express reports the police Smith contacted them after discovery. His mother earned missing June 3rd of 2020, nearly 2 years before they arrested Gladly. The two were dating at the time, but their relationship was on the rocks. No shit. A break in the case came recently after Smith said he overheard Gladly tell her daughter on the phone that she threw the urn into the lake. About 4 hours after he heard the conversation, Gladly reportedly sent Smith a text confession, which he kept for evidence. That's crazy. Gladly faces up to a year in prison and maximum $4,000 if convicted. That's not enough time. That's not enough time. And, I'll say this. It takes, what level of bitterness do you have to have? I'm not the type to, like, if you cheat on me, I'm gonna have to get revenge. Like, that's just weird. How much of your life is embedded in a person that's the requirement for you to do it? Furthermore, what's this whole thing of trying to hurt people through other people? That's something that's going on now. That's really weird to me. Like, oh, you broke up with me, so now I'm gonna go fuck your best friend. One, me and my best friend been trying to hit you at the same time anyway. Clap it. We've been trying to hit. We both been trying to do it. If you break up with me and you mad about it and you say you're going to get some revenge and go fuck my friend, me, I'm going to tell him everything that I did to make you happy. Don't set yourself up. Like, stop this cycle of vengeance. It's not healthy. It's just not. Twitter clowns Dr. Omar after he's spotted talking to white girl at the mall. So this is both, one, funny, and two, I don't really care enough to cover it. But I just wanted to come on here and say that this is fake news. Feel me? I do my research. I'm not out here faking it. You feel me? I do my research. I figure things out because I'm not a beta. She's not actually white. She's Persian. She's Persian. She's a woman of color. So I found this out, that she's actually a Persian. And they were discussing sea moss. I guess that's something cool in the shilling community. Hey, more power to them. I don't really care enough to actually invest in finding out more. And apparently, like, I guess Dr. Umar has a wife. He has a picture. If this is his wife, or maybe, I don't know. Besides, I'm already wifed up anyway, so I guess he is married. Is this the same outfit he's wearing from the? Yeah. So he's wearing the same exact outfit. So this was him and his wife like 20 minutes prior to celebration. Yeah, they've been married 25 years. So he's famous. The expectation is that people are going to recognize him, and when they recognize him, they're going to want to talk to him. That's nothing new. So this is a non-story to me, but I just had to put the facts out there. You feel me? In an effort to talk about more issues that are going on when it comes to, like, you know, white supremacy and stuff like that, it's kind of crazy. A man accused of killing former Wisconsin judge in a targeted attack has died, Wisconsin Justice Department says. So this dude basically had a hit list, including the Wisconsin governor, of people he wanted to take out. And, you know, it's all fun and games till they come for you, right? And he killed a retired judge. I don't know if there was an affiliation there, but it was just weird. But I tell that story in connection to this story, which is a connection to another story. Trump-backed Senate candidate Blake Masters blames gun violence on black people. And this is super interesting because it's this fetishization of black people being violent that white people like this like to do, right? These white supremacists love to point the finger at us. I counted it. There was only 4 black people at the January 6th riot. The rest of them were white or white passing. Right? And he's got there to say gun violence. He's blaming all white. Uvalde shooter wasn't black. Top shooter wasn't black. In fact, he came there to shoot black people specifically. Drove 200 plus miles. But we get this comment. We do have a gun violence problem in this country. It's gang violence, Master said. On the Jeff Orvich show, these are stupid podcasts. Stop naming your podcast after yourself. If get some notoriety off of something else. In April, it's gangs. It's people in Chicago, St. Louis, shooting each other very often. You know, black people, frankly. And the Democrats don't want to do anything about that. Chicago and St. Louis, you'll hear those names a lot when white supremacists talk about black people, talk about gun violence. It's their talking point. I'm just here to give you the facts. And with that, you can do what you want. Here we have gun violence by state. And this is going to be based on a per capita. So obviously, we got Alaska at the top. Or actually, Alaska. Yeah, Alaska at the top. Mississippi, Wyoming, New Mexico, Alabama, Louisiana, Missouri, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Montana. With the most gun deaths per capita in 2019. When adjusted, here are the 10 states with the highest rates in violence. Alaska, Alabama, Montana, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Arkansas, Wyoming, West Virginia, New Mexico for violence. But he mentioned cities. So let's look at cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 from the top. Number 1, St. Louis. So there's some truth to that. But and just keeping it in record, for gun violence, Missouri is still number 7, behind Louisiana, Alabama, New Mexico, Wyoming, Mississippi, and Alaska. What do all of these have in common? Even this one, I believe all of them. What do all 10 of these have in common? They're Republican states. They're red states. It's strange to me that they don't call out their own fallacies. He's talking about St. Louis and Chicago. Chicago's Illinois, Democratic state. St. Louis, Missouri, that's a red state, I believe. I could Google it, but I'm going to say believe. Because he didn't Google it, so why should I? No, I'm just playing. It's just weird to me that they keep pointing to shit like this, and we can easily point these things out. It's factual evidence out there. I want to show you guys something that is mind-boggling to me. This is a man at Disney about to propose, and then this happens.
Yes, that's great, but over here she's gonna be even better.
That's madness. I don't care. Like, you want to know something that's like bothersome to me? Is when someone isn't paid enough to do something. Like, how much are they paying you at Disneyland? I have to know this. Like, how much are you, like, Disneyland employee, Disneyland helper pay scale? Okay, attraction cast members, $16. Attraction host salary, $13 an hour. Food services, $15. Cashier, $15. So if he's just an attraction cast member, salary like $16 an hour. 16 more rows of this nonsense. Attraction host, $15. The max any of them is making $32 an hour. Ride operator, cast member, vacation plan, like attraction hostess. So you're making $15 an hour? $15 an hour to ruin someone's special moment? Like, how goofy is that? And like, isn't that like a forbidden thing to touch a ring? That is so, asinine. The like people, and once again, this is about decency amongst human beings. I totally get if this is against the rules. They're on a stage that apparently they don't look like they need to be on, but based on what the couple said, they got permission prior to be on that stage, and this has been further corroborated because the couple has received an official apology from Disney. But as a decent human being, as you're watching a man profess his love to a woman for the rest of his life, what makes you think this is okay to get up here and interrupt this? Because if he turned around and socked him, I'd be okay with that. Also, like, there's so many ways that you could do, like, prevent this from happening. You could have had a sign leading up to the stairs. Please do not enter the stage. Like, it's just weird. And it's Disneyland, the happiest place in the world. Ah, man, this is weird. But also, there's a part of me that also feels like the fuckery of these two people just garnering this much attention. I never want to have this much attention on me about anything, because shit like this could happen. This photogenic moment was ruined by someone making $15 an hour. Why would you put yourself in that type of situation? You could have rented out a fucking rooftop in the area or got a reservation where it was like cleared out or something. You could have had something better than this impromptu moment, but just secure the situation, right? As a man, secure the situation. Don't let the reason why your marriage failed because you couldn't land it in the beginning. Like you fucked up in the beginning. That's the worst. Like that's the worst way to go about it. Like, oh, will you marry me? Sure, you're a provider. Can you provide? Can you plan? No, I can't. As Exhibit A. I hate poor planning, but I do love it when I do love it when your plans as a bad person come crumbling down. Kyle Rittenhouse now says he's going to Blaine College after Texas A&M says he's not a student. Rittenhouse corrected himself on Monday, so lying is. I hate this headline. Kyle Rittenhouse lied, and now Texas is denying him access to Texas A&M. He wanted to be a nurse so bad, and this is great. This is great. If all y'all don't know, TLDR for Kyle Rittenhouse, he was the dude that was charged with shooting. He was charged with shooting, going to a protest after acquiring a gun, crossing state lines, and then going to a protest where he doesn't live and killing 2 people and maiming a third. And he got off scot-free. And he went on this press tour where he was wearing the same suit with a blue shirt and a red tie on beaches and going around the city touring, talking to Tucker Carlson. And now that wave is over. Now his face is being easily recognized as one of the most vile, disgusting advocates for gun violence ever known to man. And instead of him being behind bars, he now has to find a way of living out the remainder of his life trying to get a job. He wanted to be an EMT. No place is going to take him. No place is going to take a person like this where black people come to and have not have an issue with him. No person is going to come to him and say, oh, we could see you as a healthcare provider. Not a chance in hell. He could never be my nurse. He could never be a nurse on my staff. Easily. And when asked, I don't think he's qualified to take care of black people. I could say that. That's something I can say as is proof that you went to a Black Lives Matter protest armed with an AR-15. I could say that. None of our patients would feel safe if they knew what you did at a Black Lives Matter protest. And I wouldn't get in trouble for it. So there's something about this that does put a smile on my face. You feel me? That this is never going to work in healthcare. Furthermore, he'll never be acknowledged, and there's no campus he's going to be able to go to. And the fact that he keeps trying to announce what school he wants to go to is just dumb on him. What is Blaine College? And I wonder if Bling College has said they're not accepting him. Bling College, an affordable tuition and housing, making Bling the best community. Oh, community college. Hey, no jab at community college. Go get your money. $15K for community college? Yeah, that's a no for me, dog. Public Junior College in Brim, Texas. Where's Brigham, Texas? Wait, wasn't there a map up here? Where is this outside of? Oh, it's between. Oh, it's outside of Houston. That's a little Huntsville, in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, take your podcast out there. You'll definitely get a little bit more compassion, I guess. But yeah, get fucked. I hope you never see that. An interesting stat, because 44% of GOP voters view mass shootings as part of life, part of living in a free society. 44% of Republicans believe that mass shootings are just something we're gonna have to learn to deal with as long as we want to have guns. This was an interesting poll. A new poll found that a remarkable percentage of Republican voters believe that nothing can be done to prevent mass shootings in the future. They've given up. So they can hold on to their weapons. They've given up. They've said, no, hey, every year, 7 months into the year, 292 mass shootings have taken place. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. CBS News asks respondents if mass shootings are something we have to accept as part of a free society, or there's something we can do, we can prevent and stop it if we really tried. Overall, most Americans rejected the first premise, with just 28% saying that shootings are something we now have to live with, while 72% said the mass shootings are a phenomenon we can put an end to. It gives me hope, but not a lot. Because of that 28%, 44 of them were Republican. While 56%, that's 44%. That's crazy. That stat is crazy. This is a great story. The Proud Boys, the Proud Boy dude, he's been indicted. He was arrested in March 8th, but he's been indicted on sedition charges. And not only has he been indicted on sedition charges, there's a host of other, which if he's convicted of sedition for his role in the January 6th events, that's 20 years in prison. And as you guys know, he was arrested and held at like a day. He wasn't at the January 6th riot because, like, I believe the week prior to, he burnt down a BLM flag. That's a black dude. Like, man, the coonery that comes out of these people like this, man, is mind-boggling. But, you know, he burnt down a Black Lives Matter flag, so a judge ordered him to leave upon being arrested. And as they were getting ready to extradite him from the city, the January 6th riot happened. So he's been in jail since March 8th, and they haven't let him go. And yeah, get fucked. And like 4 of his lieutenants have been arrested and charged with the same thing. These people thought they were really above the law, but no, like Trump will use you to get the people going, but he's not going to come save you. And once again, this is a message to black people on the conservative right. You're a tool. You are not an asset. There's nothing retainable about you. On the right. And in closing, for this week's things we forgot to tell you last week, Morbius returns to theater and bombs again at box office. For all y'all that don't know, Morbius is a Marvel Sony Fox merger bullshit movie. It's about a pseudo vampire in the Spider-Man universe who doesn't want to drink blood of people. He has some. I don't know the story of Morbius. And Jared Leto, anything Jared Leto touches from here on forward is a no for me. It's just a no. If he's the main actor, it's a hell no for me. If he's in the background of a bunch of good Denzel Washington level caliber actors have to be in a movie for me to go see it. I'm here saying it now. He is no longer movie worthy. He's just not.
Bing bang.
Because he does more damage to these movies than anything, right?
Patience cost you strength. Victory has defeated you.
So yeah, it's gonna be a hard no for me moving forward. But the thing that's really funny about this is that it was this meme on Twitter about a week ago called it's Morbing Time, and it was to make fun of how bad Morbius as a movie was. And it was so bad that even Jared Leto, understandably, now ruining two villains in two different comic book genres, that being the Joker and also Morbius now, came out and made fun of it. It was all in jokes. We all got the joke. But Sony saw the engagement on Twitter and saw that engagement and that hashtag and said to themselves, "Nah, we gonna put this movie that bombed the first time back in theaters." And they was like, "Is that a good idea?" And everyone in the room of boomer age people who have no social media sense said, "Yes, it's a great idea. Let's do it."
Oh yeah!
Let me ask you something.
Like to answer a question right at this particular time. Would you like to do that?
How much money do you think they made in that 1 week of putting this bum ass movie back in theaters? They made a grand total grossing Friday of $85,000. I make more than that in a year. I could have paid them. To not do this. They could have paid me and asked me, "Heero, do you think it's a good idea?" And I would have been like, "Fuck no, don't do it."
Fuck your life.
But they did it anyway. $85. They released it in 1,000 theaters. That means there was $80 per movie's theater. That's not enough to pay the people who worked that weekend. So Sony lost money from the grand total that which they had made to actually get greenlit for a second movie. The mindless self-indulgence that involves the media today and just how disconnected people are. It's like, that's the thing that's kind of scary to me is I have figured out a way in my professional life to make enough money that I can live comfortably. The fact that I haven't figured out a way to make comfortable money off of social media when they're literally throwing $85,000 to the fucking wind, that's a fault on me. I gotta get better. You feel me? I gotta do better.
Do you feel in charge?
I have to do better. I feel like there's no way I should be getting effed this bad. But I am. And you want to know something? It's just something we got to deal with. You feel me? Clap it. Oh, they paid over $200,000 to put it back into theaters. They paid over $200,000 to put it back into theaters. Could you fucking imagine? Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. But hey, that's that segment. That's the end of that show.